Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Idiosyncratic Fables, a part of Wilderness Fire Productions, where we are cultivating the passion for books, audiobooks, and storytelling. Since time first began, we all have been storytellers. Everybody has a story to tell, and I want to hear yours. I'm your host, James, and today I am just thrilled to welcome back a returning guest and one of my favorite LitRPG authors, Doug Lohse. Doug is the mastermind behind the Elsewhere series, following hotshot fighter pilot Andy Duke Ellington as he's pulled into a world of magic, dungeons, ancient powers, and sky-high battles. Since his last appearance, Doug has dropped multiple new books. The audiobooks have been crushing it, and he's just released the Elsewhere Omnibus collecting books 1 through 3. Plus, he's fresh off finishing book 6, which yours truly is in the works of narrating right now, Dungeon Emperor Ascendant. We're talking series progression, what it's like going from fighter pilot to Dungeon Emperor, the brand new omnibus, and what Doug's plans are going to be for LitRPGCon in Denver next week. Doug, welcome back to the show, good sir. It is such a pleasure to have you once again.
I am thrilled to be here.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be anywhere else right now, except maybe LitRPGCon, because that's the supreme.
Oh, 100% the supreme from everything I've heard. I haven't been myself, but from everybody I've talked to, it is the con to be at because there is no other con like it. Would you even say that's comparable to Dragon Con, or are they like two different entities?
That's a really good question. Dragon Con is the first major con I ever went to, and it was where I really delved into the LitRPG track, where I met authors and such. So it was the home of LitRPG for a while, but it was also a small audience amongst 100,000 plus people.
Sure.
At LitRPGCon, it's roughly 2,000 people, and they're all there for LitRPG. So you don't have to explain what the genre is. Everyone knows the genre. They know the major works, and it's just the gathering of the tribe, the gathering of the found family. You come in knowing 4 or 5 people, you leave knowing 100 and being good friends with at least half that many. It is ridiculous. It's an aura. It is amazing.
Oh, that makes my extroverted heart so incredibly happy just to hear that.
Even this introvert comes out with new friends, newfound family. So if an introvert can do it, imagine what an extrovert can do.
Ooh, I can't wait. I was actually talking to one of the VA nurse practitioners yesterday because I went in for a shoulder appointment. And she asked me, because she and I have this rapport now, she knows what I do as far as audiobook narration. And she goes, so what are you reading right now? And I told her that I was reading the 6th book of the Elsewhere series, and it's LitRPG. And she stops, like needle in hand, getting ready to poke me in the shoulder. She goes, what's LitRPG? And I went, well, are you familiar with what fantasy books are? She went, yeah. I was like, okay, so cool. You've got, dwarves, elves, dragons, etc. She goes, yeah, I know all that. Like, awesome. Now imagine you're reading a fantasy novel, but you also have stats included as far as their strength levels up, their dexterity, constitution, that kind of thing. She goes, oh, okay. And you can hear in her voice, she's still not catching on. And then she paused. She goes, I think my husband would like that a lot. Is it like the Brandon Sanderson books? I went, no, not quite. I was like, how else can I explain this? I'm like, oh, imagine you combined a fantasy book with a video game and you have all of those level up increases. She goes, oh, okay. Oh, that sounds cool. Yeah, that's definitely my husband's stuff right there.
That tracks. The audience does tend to run more to the males, but there is no shortage of women who have jumped into LitRPG, as authors, as fans, as narrators. and there's no reason for anyone of any inkling to not be part of it.
Right. So last time we talked, the Elsewhere series was still building momentum. Now you've wrapped up book 6 and just dropped the omnibus for books 1 through 3. How does it feel to have the first major arc complete and available as a boxed set?
It's pretty wild. You know, coming into writing the series, I wasn't sure where this was going to wind up. You know, you start off writing, you have no idea if anyone's actually going to ever read it, let alone buy it. Boxing up, you know, the first three books in a single arc as a box set, that's a feeling that I don't think I'm going to get back again.
Yeah.
Especially, and I'm going to say this, and I mean it specifically, especially when the audio finally does drop, because that's where I think the real gravy is.
Okay, do tell.
Since in order to release it through Amazon's systems, through the ACX, Audible, all that, you have to do it as an ebook as well. So the first 3 books are available as an ebook and also on Kindle Unlimited, which, okay, that's fine. So someone could, you know, get that easily and read through each of the books individually, or read through each of the books in the omnibus. Either way, it's essentially the same. But with the Audible, you know, the box set audio, that's, you know, 50 plus hours in one solid block. And that hits differently.
I bet it does.
Because people will be more happily, more easily, more encouraged to drop 1 credit and pick up the entire omnibus. And they will.
Yeah.
As soon as ACX gets around to releasing it.
For listeners that are new to the series, give us the quick pitch for it. So, what makes Andy, or Duke, as we all know and love him, what makes his journey from fighter pilot to where he's at now so addictive in the LitRPG space?
I do things differently. That's the first way I'll say it. Andy starts out fighter pilot, crashes and burns, you know, and is brought to a new world, entirely fantasy setting, has no idea what's going on, starts learning the system, how things function as he goes, and starts encountering things, people, other things. And it starts off with a fairly typical fantasy progression. Some things happen that you're not going to see in other novels. I go a little bit darker in some areas than others will, because I do like it a little gritty. I like high stakes with high reward. I'm not a big fan of low stakes, high reward. That seems like you don't have to work for it, and that's not how I want to write.
No.
I want my characters to earn it. You want cool superpower? Great. You've got to fight your way through it. You've got to eat the damage for it. You've got to go for the fire to get to the paradise at the end. So as he progresses, the world and his role in the world starts changing. In the first book, almost pure fantasy. Second book essentially ends the fantasy side of things. And the third book starts pulling in a blend of fantasy and sci-fi. So you start to see spaceships, mechs. You see things that don't have a general place in fantasy, but really should in wider genre. You know, look at Warhammer 40K.
Yeah.
It's fantasy, it's sci-fi, it's blended. Why aren't we all doing this?
Good call. It's definite new way to think of it too. I really like that.
Not often done. Sometimes it's received well. Some people want things separate. They don't want the food to touch. And that's why the genre is so great, because there is something for everyone.
Yeah. Oh, that's such a good analogy too. Yes, some people don't like their mashed potatoes mixed with their peas. Other folks like their shepherd's pie. So there's something for everyone.
Oh, I love me a good shepherd's
I need to stop talking about food. I just finished eating dinner too. So, as the author of your now first complete Lit RPG series, what would you say was the biggest challenge or most fun part in writing all 6 books?
in the writing part. The challenge was keeping things coherent because I do set up a lot of side plot lines, and bringing them all together to try and wrap them up in the end of the series was important. People often ask, how do you keep track of it all the stats and the levels and all the things going on? I do it on a spreadsheet. The spreadsheet at the end of book 6 had 46 tabs.
Wow.
And I will always go back to my favorite tab is the loose ends and plot holes tab. And that I lived in that tab for book 6 of, okay, what are all the pieces that I have left hanging that I need to come back to? And some of them, I'm never coming back to. It was just out there. It, someday down the road, if fans say, oh, we need a story about what happened here, all right, I'll go back and write it. If the demand's there, sure, I'll write it. It'll be fun. But right now, there isn't a plan to do that. As far as what was the most fun was bringing things to a conclusion. There are definitely moments where I had to stop writing and say, okay, let me think this through because I have to give this scene true justice.
Right.
Not just right through it in a breeze. This has to hit perfectly.
So tell us about the omnibus specifically, the first 3 books. Now, I know the answer, but our listeners don't. Is there any bonus material? And who do you think that material is perfect for?
There's definitely bonus material in the omnibus. Who is it perfect for? Any fan of the series, really.
Okay.
What was it goes into a few points of things that I had written and not included, and a few points of, what, I need to write a little bit more about what happened here that I didn't get to when I was writing the original first 3. So a little blend of both, and maybe 1 or 2 little anecdotes that are just fun.
Yep. I really enjoyed reading the bonus material, and likewise, recording it for you. It was a lot of fun. What kind of feedback have you gotten from readers who binged the first arc, and how has that shaped later books?
Feedback these days is really interesting to get because you can go days, weeks, months, and you get reviews, you get ratings, but you're not, since it's all online, it's all remote, you're not actually talking to people. It wasn't until really I was at LitRPGCon last year, the first one, where I actually had people come up to me and say, you're the author? Oh, let me tell you. And they start gushing about the books. And I'm like, wow, people actually did read this. They actually did like it. So oftentimes, you're stuck in your own little vacuum world and you don't actually know how things are received. You get your sales numbers, you get your reviews, you get your ratings, but that's all kind of sits external of any real interaction. When you actually start talking to people, or occasionally I'll have conversations online in Discord or Facebook, even, whatever the case is. Those are where it really pops up, and you get people say, "Oh, I love Baslin. Give me more Baslin."
I'm especially fond of Baslin. Yeah.
One of my favorite voices that you do.
He's one of my favorite voices that I do. It's one that comes naturally enough that I don't have to think about it. And a little funny story for you, Doug, where Baslin's voice comes from. Funnily enough, it's actually my default voice that I use for goblins in D&D campaigns.
He doesn't sound like a goblin.
Well, no, because Baslin's way more articulate. If you drop out, a few words here and there and make the sentences, very fragmented, and then also, have each goblin speak in the third person, then yeah, you got your standard, goblin vernacular. But you increase the intelligence by like 20 points and then have these long run-on sentences, which, as we know, Baslin is long to do, then yeah.
He gets a little excited.
Yeah, that's putting it mildly. All right. So with writing ambitious lit RPGs, how do you balance your day job plus the writing?
Oh, that's fun. I set my alarm for 6 a.m. I rarely make it to my alarm. It's usually sometime in 5:30 when my body just says, we're awake, time to go. Wake up, get ready, come in, hop in, start writing. Been working from home for most of this time, so I could write from, say, 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock, flip over to my day job, finish up my day job, 6, 7 o'clock, flip back, write, have dinner, spend time with family. So you find spots in between, but you do have to be careful about it becoming all encompassing.
Yeah.
You don't want to be in the situation where your family is resenting your day job or your second day job.
There definitely has to be that balance. You've got a background as a fighter pilot that really shines in the aerial combat, which therefore translates really well into Duke's character, specifically in book 1, and later when he gets his flying ability. How much of Duke's personality or skills would you say draw from real life inspiration?
Real life inspiration. The funny thing is, I'll say very little. It's all fantasy, movies, things I've read, people I've talked to.
Okay.
I've got I've had friends in the Air Force. One of them was a pilot, told me a few things, but a lot of it is research and just my stupid search for trivial knowledge.
Do you fancy Trivial Pursuit at all, or not so much?
I'm fairly good at it. Sadly, my weakness is sports and leisure.
I was never great at that game. And then, of course, we would go to trivia nights back when we lived down south. And I was not good at those trivia questions either, especially when it was all like Star Trek night. Yes, I call myself a nerd, but no, I have not seen a single episode of Star Trek anything, not even the movies. I mean, I know who the characters are, but beyond that, nah.
So I'm going to ask you, where do you land on Babylon 5?
Never seen it.
Oh, that's disappointing.
No, my sci-fi binging goes to Star Wars, but unfortunately not the last trilogy. That was a train wreck. Other shows like Stargate, Farscape was really good. Let's see. And then some 1980s classics like The Last Starfighter, Flight of the Navigator, that was awesome. Yeah, and several others.
I've heard a rumor that they're remaking The Last Starfighter, and I hope they don't.
Oh, I hope they don't. They need to leave some of the classics alone. Just leave them as is.
Yeah, unfortunately, the demographic they're trying to hit is us.
Yeah.
So they're going for our childhood favorites to remake so they can try and drag us into the theaters.
Yeah. I think one of the coolest and most unique of its time sci-fi stuff was Guyver. Remember that one?
Was that a Mark Hamill movie?
I don't know if Mark Hamill was in that one or not, or if he produced it or whatever. All I remember is that it was this human guy who had the ability to transform into like this weaponized alien suit, had these really cool blades coming out of his elbows, and he was fighting giant alien monsters with it.
Because who doesn't want to do that?
Of course. I mean, give me like a biomech suit that's also combat ready. Yeah, sign me up.
Let's do it.
All right. Going back to LitRPG, because we could go down the sci-fi rabbit hole real quick.
Yes, we can.
What are you reading right now as far as LitRPG or game lit that's inspiring you?
I just finished the latest book in the Quest Academy series, which is a phenomenal series. It's school based for the most part, and it's done extremely well. Brian Norton does an amazing job with it. The list of what I read in genre is long and storied. It's essentially yes, I read that. Off the top of my head, the various works of Sean Oswald are right up there at the top. He's got a new one coming out next week, an entirely new series, and I want to see how that one will tie into the rest of his multiverse, because all of his series seem to tie into it, and that's fun. And he does something in his series that is really a hallmark of LitRPG that people don't outside the genre don't seem to understand. Is he will put references to other authors' works throughout his series.
Oh, cool.
And he even has a reference to Elsewhere in there.
Does he really?
He does.
Outstanding.
Yeah, he's absolutely talented author, great guy, very active.
All right. Let's talk about LitRPGCon. And we know we talked a little bit about it at the beginning of the show, but I want to hear what you're most excited about this year, like panels, meeting readers, or something else.
Last year I went just to go and have fun, meet people. This year I'm a panelist. I've got a workshop, four panels. I'm in 3 gaming sessions, which is something that the con does that no other con I know of does. Is they will set up games, anything from D&D to My Little Pony to Sheep. Excuse me.
Sheep?
And they will connect authors, narrators, and fans at the table. So, fans are sitting down with perhaps their favorite author and playing a game of My Little Pony, which apparently last year I really missed out because that turned out to be the most wild and fun. Make guest, most authors and many narrators are just slightly off center. And that comes out when you're gaming.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So you said you're going to be on some panels. Are you doing any signings as well?
Yes, on Friday at I think 3:00, I will be doing signings.
Excellent.
Not in the main signing area. There's like 2 signing areas. There's the official signing area, and one of the authors has basically gotten a room set aside for what we call a low stim environment. So it'll be calm, quiet, where people who are have sensory issues and such can come, and it'll be much more low key.
Oh, very cool. What should fans look for if they want to catch you?
I will be walking around with my book covers on T-shirts. Should be pretty easy to find. I'll be going, yeah, I got to run to the next panel, the next thing, because I've overscheduled myself.
Oh, gosh.
But stop me, grab me. I'll be happy to do it. Sign a book in the middle of the hallway. That's fine. If I'm not doing anything, I am likely going to be at LobbyCon, which is the unofficial con that takes place in the lobby, where everyone hangs out. The lobby of the hotel, authors, narrators, fans, everybody just hangs out and just, BS's around, having a great time talking about everything. Occasionally there's the instant mini workshop that happened last year, where I'd say half the fans there were looking to, I want to write a book. I love LitRPG. I want to write a book in the genre. How do I get started? Gather around. Let's have 5 authors talk to you about it.
I love that. So that segues beautifully into my next question for you. For authors or narrators, or in this case, fans and readers, thinking about attending their first LitRPGCon, what advice would you give?
Go to the workshops. The workshops are exactly designed for that. My first panel workshop, or whatever you want to call it, on Friday at 10:30 is about writing a strong first chapter. And that goes into my philosophy of, you have 3 ways to market your book. First is your cover. If the cover doesn't pop as a thumbnail, it's never going to be clicked on. Second is your blurb. If it doesn't relate to your main, you don't get your audience related to your main character and give them a hook to at least open the book, you're done. And the third is that first chapter. You've got basically 5, maybe 10 pages to get the reader hooked, give them a reason to continue, get them into the story. Now, there are other genres where you can spend 5 chapters doing this grand background outlay. That doesn't work in LitRPG. People will just DNF, do not finish, toss it aside, move on to the next one. So that's part of what the workshops are about.
Okay. What surprised you last time from the first year of LitRPGCon?
I was surprised about the aura. That's really the term I use. It's the aura, the overwhelming feeling of family. There was no friction. There was no barrier between author, narrator, fan, industry professional. Even the industry professionals. Your Tantor Audio, your Podium Audio. They were very happy to talk to people. Even if you had nothing to do with the business, they just were happy to talk to people. The closeness, the access, you're not going to get that at any other con. No author at LitRPGCon is going to be saying oh, you want my autograph? That's $200. No, it's, you want my autograph? Cool. What do you want me to sign? Where do you want me to sign it?
Awesome. How important would you say events like LitRPGCon are for indie authors now?
Critical. Without question, it's absolutely critical. In the indie author world, we are being hammered by outside forces. Amazon constantly changed their algorithm. They suppressed reviews and ratings for several months over the past 6 months. We don't know why. I think they were trying to root out our biggest problem, and that is AI. There is a flood of AI generated books out there. And at one point there were more than 30, I'll put it in very big air quotes, authors dropping 5 to 10 AI authored books a day.
Wow.
And it's a problem, yes. Is it going away? Not unless the readers make it go away. Because there's, as authors, publishers, there's not a whole lot we can do about it. We can, even the moderators for, the Facebook groups, unless they absolutely for sure know it's AI, and there are some easy ways to tell. There are people who are just so much into just churning out these books that they leave their prompts in their books.
Oh,
or they leave the prompt in the blurb, or the sure, I'll write that for you response part of the blurb. Those are easy to tell. Yep, that's AI. Get it out of here.
Wow.
But unless you can really, dig into it and something like that, it's hard to tell. I mean, over the length of a book, yeah, you're going to realize, okay, they've done this same phrasing 14 times over and over again. We've read the same paragraph 6 times. Okay, we know this isn't real. There was one book recently that was number 600 in all of Amazon's books. It was unformatted, complete AI garbage, not even finished AI garbage.
Ugh.
And it was number 600 in all of Amazon's books.
That's pathetic.
It is shockingly appalling.
Ugh, that's gross.
So yes, coming to the con is crucial to connect with the readership, connect with other authors, other talents in the industry, so we can stay united against things like AI.
Yeah. Let's shift over to something a little bit. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead, James.
I was going to say, let's shift over to our next question, a little bit more on the positive side. Because, again, like rabbit holes, we could just plow through the tyranny of AI and all the filth associated with it. You've mentioned big playlists before. Any standout tracks or artists that fueled Book 6?
There's one song. It's an older song. It's I think an 80s, maybe 90s song by Genesis. It's Domino. It's a 2-part song.
Right.
That song, just the aura of the song really worked for Book 6. And you'll have to listen to it sometime and go, oh.
Gotcha. I'm very familiar with Genesis. Even all the way back in the Peter Gabriel days, before Phil Collins took over as vocalist.
Yep.
But I don't think I'm familiar with the Domino song. I'll have to go back and check that one out.
Yeah, it's 2 parts. It's important to get both parts.
Gotcha. So what's next for the Elsewhere series now that Book 6 has come to its close as far as the written portion goes? Are there any continuations, or is it the end-all, be-all, we're done with Elsewhere, we're moving on to the next story?
Right now, it is the end of the series. There are a few pieces I could pick back up, but I don't plan on it.
Okay.
There could come a day where people say, hey, I would love to see how this plot line could have played out. Well, you know what? I have that half written. When I went through editing on book 6, I took about 30,000 words out, which was an entire, essentially a section of it.
Right.
That could very well be, a book in a different line, different series. So if it comes down to it, and the fans are clamoring for it, I can write it. I will write it. It's one of those. If you come, I'll build it.
Good deal. Good deal. I've got some lightning round questions for you. You ready?
Go for it.
Favorite dungeon type you've written?
That would be the Siege dungeon.
Yep, that was a favorite of mine too. A dream LitRPG crossover.
Ooh, if I could cross over into Sean Oswald's world, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Okay. What is one mechanic you wish existed in real life?
Healing.
Okay. And why is that? Other than the obvious.
Because I've seen, I'll put it this way. I've seen the ER too many times with family members.
Fair enough. And then finally, which is becoming my favorite question to ask my guests, favorite sandwich?
Club.
Okay. Bread toasted or plain?
You gotta toast it. If you're not toasting it, it's not a club.
Now, do you prefer it with or without the toothpicks?
If it's not so big you need the toothpicks, it's not a good sandwich.
Very well, very well. Doug, this has been fun. Thank you again for coming onto the show. It's been great to hear you talk about not only your passion for writing, but just how much love you have for the genre as a whole, and for also for just, authors and readers and narrators alike who also love Lit RPG. Thank you so much.
It's an absolute pleasure. As always, love it to death.
And thank you, dear listener, for all tuning in. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. If you enjoyed this episode, I ask that you please rate, review, and subscribe to the show, because it's going to help me to reach more storytellers just like you. You're also welcome to track me down on social media and drop me a line there, or even send me an email directly about who you would love to hear next. Or even better, if you would like to be a guest on the show yourself. Also, I host a Discord server where I showcase my behind-the-scenes work of audiobook narration, and I invite you to click the link in the show notes because I would love to have you as a part of that community. And as always, everybody has a story to tell, and I want to hear yours. And so until I talk to you next time, dear listener, peace be with you.